wrapping up the end of our day here at the Bountiful Farmhouse. I'd like to take you on a little bit of a garden tour with me. We've been having a great couple of weeks. We've been working with the sunshine and the rain and getting things done that need to happen in April. So the biggest project that we're doing is we're relocating the chicken coop and the chicken run. We've been very busy. Eric has been very busy. We had to move the coop out of the way, give the chickens a place to go, and then we're leveling this out. We've put in all of the support footings. We've had a couple of kids here helping us. We've had our daughter Addie and her husband Brian here today to help us out, which has been so tremendously helpful. We put Brian to work digging for us because, you know, he's young and he can do that. And so I think Addie did a little bit of that as well. I worked around the house, just kind of weeding and getting things cleaned up in the front yard. But let me take you on a tour through the garden and show you what we've gotten into the ground already. It's April. There's a few things that you want to have into the ground by now. If you haven't, those would be your cold crops. So they're peas, carrots, radishes, your brassicas, different things that way that like the cold and are going to get they'll bolt as soon as it starts getting really warm. So we got those into the ground. So let's walk a little bit. I put the rest of the big yellow bag dirt into the boxes and got those prepped out and ready to go. We got the water system all in. I want to make sure that things are going to work. Our irrigation water will turn on, I think, next week. So we'll be testing it then. I'm sure I have to replace a couple of heads and I still need to put the water system over into the E. That will be this week's chore. So, not chore, because it's fun to do. So in this box, I started early. I'm trying to think what's going to grow with other plants, so companion plants. So cucumbers are going to go up against the trellis. We'll grow them up. That takes up less space, and it makes great use of vertical space for us. Next to them is going to be beets, and so beets need to be in the ground now. They're great. They don't compete with the cucumber space. They're a great companion plant as well. So I'm excited. I love beets, and they're probably one of my most favorite vegetables out of the garden. You either love them or you hate them, and I love them. So the other thing I was worried about were our potatoes. We put them in pretty early. It snowed, it froze, it did all kinds of stuff, but I kind of dug into the mound just to make sure they were still doing good, and they are. The shoots are purple, there's new growth on them, so I'm really excited about that. That's our first year for potatoes. In front of them, I planted cabbage. What we seeded up, I put in here, I've got both a white cabbage and a red cabbage. The red didn't seed well in the greenhouse, so I direct sowed it into the ground here. And hopefully that will go good because I want to try a new recipe. Cowboy candy, I think is what it's called. There's lots of recipes out there, but we're excited to try it this year and see what happens. I've got some garlic and onions that I put in with the raspberry bushes. And if you've been following our channel, you know that I've been really timid about the onions, and they're coming up. So I'm super excited about that. That'll be a first year of onions, so yay us. I also put some in this one, and then over here is where we're going to do our peas. This is a new addition to our garden this year. Eric put in a trellis for us here. It's a cattle panel that we're using, and I've got peas behind that will grow up, and then bush peas in front of them that will just use them as the vining peas that they'll use them as a background, so I won't have to stake those. And then in front of those, I have some carrots, lots of carrots because we love them. And so we're doing lots of carrots. I put a few more lettuce that didn't fit into the E. I put what was in here because I didn't want to throw anything away. This is one of my favorite corners of the garden. It's just whimsical, and I'll add a few more things to it. But this is going to be our tea garden. I've got bee balm, lemon balm, some limoncello. There will balm. There will be some fennel and different things. I'll put a list of everything that's going in the tea garden, but I'm going to try my hand at making some teas this year, and really utilizing what we're planting and enjoying that because we both love tea. And then we did prune the grapes. This was my first year pruning grapes. The grapes are 3-year-old plants, and I've kind of cut them back as if they were a 2-year plant because we let them just go wild last year. We had grapes and they were really good, but we just kind of let them go a little crazy. I'm trying to train them on the trellis here, and so you can see that there's some growth going on. These new buds, they don't look like much, but they will get some really big leaves and stuff on them. And when you're pruning grapes, everything that I've read and watched, you want to take away about 80% of the growth from last year. So that's what I did. They look really sparse, but fingers crossed that they're all going to just bloom and be fantastic this year. In the E, we have, this is on an earlier video, I believe, that we did, but we have our lettuces, onion, garlic, shallots. We've got broccolini. Everything that we seeded up into the greenhouse has gone into here. So the seedlings got put into here. And then I had space left over, and I love, well, both of us love the broccolini. So I also direct sowed. You can see those starting to come up, the little tiny, which is so fun. I love seeing that. And then this is our bok choy, a few lettuces, and then bok choy, a couple of different varieties. We have spinach. I also direct sowed spinach as well from the seedlings that we planted. And then this is leftover bok choy, direct sowed some, and then there's carrots and radishes, and you can see that the radishes are already coming up. And then one other box that I got things planted in was where the tomatoes are going to go. So they'll go on this side and trellis up, but on this side I planted some, it's called borage, I think is how you pronounce it. But it's this beautiful plant with flowers, blue flowers, beautiful leaves. It's all edible, but the benefit to the tomatoes is that it will keep the caterpillar, the big tomato worm, away from the tomatoes. It goes to the plant. And we want the companion planting to do that so that our tomatoes can do really well. Let's take a walk through and I'll show you around the front of the house. So I was really excited to get some spring showing, and around our house we've planted bushes and, well, different plants that come up year round. So we have spring plants, things that bloom all summer, and then some fall plants. But the daffodils are up and going. We've got crocus. Crocus is my favorite bulb in the spring. It smells lovely. I grew up with it underneath my bedroom window, so it's something that I really I'm trying to fill in a lot more in here. I just love the fragrance of it. We have, what else have we got going in? Tulips. The tulips are not quite up. They will get here. It's still cool, so they're going to try to come. We've got a bunch of different colors of tulips. I'm excited to see those come. I like whimsy. I like to have fun, and so I've put a few fairy houses throughout around the house here. I'd like to add to it. We'll see. It's an ongoing project. But it makes it fun. The kids like to walk around and see it and point to it and have fun. And then on this side of the house, it gets a little more shade and different things that way, but we've planted some climbing roses, so we're going to try to get them to go up around the window, get some color and some good fun smells and things that way. And then I'm going to be doing a medicinal garden in this area, so I'll put a list of the plants that will be going in here as well. And again, just going to try my hand at making some tinctures and different things this year with what we grow. And that's it. That kind of wraps it up here of our day and the last couple of weeks here at the Bountiful Farmhouse. So if you like what you see, please subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them for us in the comment. We'll be happy to respond to you. And thank you for joining us.